Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today.
You didn't ask me if I was ready.
Hey, are you ready?
Because I could tell you were ready because you're always on the go, on the move, on the ready.
She said,
Because you're amazing. The only reason you wouldn't be better or ready is if you were slacking and not good at your job, which we all know is not true. And so that's why I didn't ask.
Look at you turning it around.
Yeah, I'm really good at manipulating
You
people.
are.
I came across this thing that, because Gavin's trying to lose weight. This isn't for him, but we know other people that are, because Gavin's doing it the old-fashioned way. He is working out and trying to eat right and stuff. And you are losing weight, which is great. I'm really happy for you because I know what it's like to try to lose weight, and it's not easy.
If you get skinnier than Wally, though, he's going to be angry.
Oh, I'm going to fatten you up
I'll get
like a
there.
Thanksgiving turkey.
The problem is that I'm legitimately still 50 pounds away from your weight.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah. And this is weird because we are the same height, but like you don't look like 50 pounds heavier than
No, I've never felt like I take that back. I have felt, let's call it fat before, because
that's what Betty calls it.
Always does. Is that your favorite joke right now?
It is right now.
Is telling, oh man,
It's my favorite truth right now.
Yeah. Oh
It's
my.
not a truth.
But I've never felt like a total big boy.
Yeah.
But I know that I have been, and for my health and for my energy, for the benefit of everyone around me, I would love to get down to like 175 someday.
Oh yeah. But I'll tell you, there's things.
I'll look so different.
There's things that as I'm talking to my daughter now as an adult, that I'm like, oh, really? Like, did you just say that? Like yesterday, I was like talking about
who.
No, in a serious way.
Okay.
Like no, like
Okay.
I was talking to her yesterday about like losing weight and stuff like that, and I said, yeah, there was a point at which I feel like I was kind of halfway joking, like I feel like I was giving myself an eating disorder. Because I was doing it unhealthy and I wasn't eating, and then I felt really guilty for eating, and I'm like, that mentally is a problem. And so I said, yeah, I felt like I'd given my self an eating disorder, and she's like, same. And I'm like, wait a minute, because I started going on. I went, whoa, wait, did you just say like same? And she's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute. So what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, when I was in college, I had gotten real skinny. And I didn't want it, like I was trying that whole 30 she was doing. And I remember she had lost a lot of weight in college. And she's like, yeah, I felt it getting unbalanced where I wasn't eating and I just wanted to be small and like for all the wrong reasons and stuff. And she's like, so I felt it wasn't healthy. And she's like, yeah. And so I'm not in that place now, But I'm like, dadgummit. Like, you want your kids to be okay, and you don't see them all the time.
And she was what, at least 45 minutes north of you, like living in Nashville.
Yeah, we didn't
so it's
see
this
her.
interesting
Right.
thing where you're like, oh, you were so close.
Yeah. Or when you do see her, and maybe you furthered that because you're like, oh, you look really good. Like she lost weight, and like, oh, you look really good. You want to encourage them in that, but then you could be encouraging them in unhealthy
behavior,
that you don't know. And so, yeah, she keeps dropping these little nuggets on me of life stuff from like high school and college now that she's an adult, that I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Did not know that.
I wonder why she kept that.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because we do have a good relationship, and she tells me things I wish she wouldn't tell me. And so I guess that's why she's telling me now. But yeah, I was like, oh, dadgum, that made me sad. But the consumers that are looking to use Wegovy, because right now you got to go to a doctor, you got to get a prescription for Wegovy for the weight loss drug.
That's the shot. Okay.
Yeah, that's the weight loss drug. The company that makes it announced that they are going to be giving this medicine and making it available through your telehealth companies like Hims. You see the ads for Hims and Hers and stuff, which who knows if they're really like even accredited.
Yeah, that makes me nervous.
Isn't that what you bought, though? For like a weight loss thing?
Accidentally, right?
Yeah. Well, I thought me and my wife were both going to do it. And then she's like, I'm not doing that after I'd already hit send. So I'm like, well, and so I got my money back. I still have it. I haven't used it.
I thought you were going to.
No, I decided not to. I decided I was going to just keep trying to do what I was doing. And so, yeah, I never used it. But it was basically like an appetite suppressant. And so Hims, Life MD, things like that. And they're doing it for a reduced price for them, which is, drumroll please, $499 a month.
Oh, man.
That is the reduced price. But then what they don't tell you is, like with Hims, for example, you can get it for $4.99 a month, but you also have to have a $99 a month service fee from the company that they're like, oh, this includes a monthly televisit with a healthcare provider and monitoring and progress. So you're at $5.99 a month for this weight loss drug. And the crazy thing is that's better than going to your doctor because it's $1,000 plus a month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, it works for a lot of people, which, I mean, I guess if you had struggled with your weight for so long and never seen results, and then all of a sudden you see results, you're going to kind of do whatever it takes to keep that, probably.
Yeah, I guess I would probably, if it were me, I would probably do it maybe like for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then hope and pray that I could just
You got to
do it
change
by
your
myself,
lifestyle.
keeping it off.
Right. But
Yeah.
the problem is they say the way that the drug works is a lot of times the weight comes back and it comes back more because it's working like molecularly on you. I forget all the terms for it, but basically it's doing something in your cells. And so then when it stops, it comes back harder, the weight.
Yeah.
And so
It's just tough 'cause
once you're on it, you're kind of on it, or
Yeah.
you're going to have a tough road to hoe after.
Yeah, because you are forcing your body to change through something other than your own like willpower. And I willpower is definitely the one thing that that's where you probably find the greatest life change. But
100%.
that's the thing, is that I fully understand for some people, like either it's schedule, an 8-month-old, or something else that keeps you from achieving those things.
And some
because
people
you're
like
exhausted.
there's health things with some people that they cannot lose weight really well, you know, and it's not because they're out eating 3 pizzas. It's like their body doesn't, metabolize things like it does. They also said that they're going to be doing this through pharmacies, through their pharmacy. Like Wegovy has its own pharmacy where you could get the $4.99 price, but you can't have insurance. Like if you lack insurance, then you'll get a little discount on it. But of course, if you have insurance, they're like, you're going to run the price up and then keep all of our insurance rates so high because of it.
So,
like if you can sell it for $4.99 to some people, why not sell it to all people for $4.99? You know, that's the part of it that's jacked up. But we've had friends that have done it and been really successful with it. I couldn't give myself a shot every week.
If it were a capsule, I think I could.
Oh, a capsule?
Do that.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need it because you just implode. But like, if it was a capsule, I could do that. But like, even if I had diabetes, I'd be like, can we just balance this with candy bars and apple juice or whatever? Like,
Oh my word.
I know. Like, I don't know that I don't know. I mean, I guess you have to. You get into the zone and you do what you got to do. I guess after the first one, and because these are like auto shots too, like where you kind of put it up and it kind of does its own thing. I could do that. One of the other ones, like the competitor to Wegovy, they offer it for like $3.99. But it's in a syringe and a vial. Like you have to actually draw the liquid in like a nurse would, in a syringe, and then jab yourself with a regular shot. I would sit there like this and like shake, and I'd be like, "Gah, gah," and I'd probably like just barely nick it,
And scream.
Yeah, and
It's
scream
scary.
like bloody murder.
Like people who like used to do I had a friend who would do his finger every day.
Yeah.
And you see that little, for people who are sensitive, like you see that little red.
Like you and Wally.
I know.
Yeah.
You see that little red. It's like, I couldn't imagine doing that every single day.
I was
but-
surprised it doesn't hurt. Like
Yeah.
we had Bart Millard in here because he was talking about his son Sam having diabetes, which is kind of the whole plot behind the new I Can Only Imagine 2 movie starring
Hey.
some people. What?
No, I mean, you need to give people warning.
I said, oh no, it's not a spoiler alert. No, it's good. It's about the song Even If, so it's good. I thought you meant about me being in the movie. I thought I had to give you a warning. No, but like
Well, I wouldn't mind that either.
we did a test on our fingers, and I was really surprised. I thought
you
it was going to
did?
hurt. Yeah, I thought it was going to hurt
Oh.
because he brought him in, and he's like, "Yeah, it's not that bad." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, we're good." I wouldn't like doing it all day. Like you have to
I
do it
wouldn't
multiple
do it for
times a
fun.
day.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Lady Rock, what do you got?
So yesterday, I decided to go to the dentist for the very first time
Yeah, she did.
since I was 18.
Get
So
her tooth looked at.
it's been a while. My teeth were not giving me any issues, but we had been talking here on the show about like I pay for my dental insurance.
for
I just never
16 years of paying for
and I
dental
just never
insurance?
use
Yeah.
it.
Crazy.
So anyway-
it's nice that you've never had pain.
Right.
Like when you have tooth pain, it can ratchet from like, oh, this really hurts to I want to have someone hit me in the head with something badly, so quickly. So I'm glad you didn't have pain.
Yeah. So I went and I thought it was just going to be a tooth cleaning. It turns out that I was there for 3 hours.
That makes no sense.
They had to do x-rays. They had to test my gums, all the things, and then do all the cleaning. I mean, but all that to say, they were very nice people. I liked them a lot. But while I was there in the waiting room waiting for my name to get called, there's this old couple that walks in. And it's a man and his wife. And he's on a cane, okay? And he's stooped, really stooped, okay? And she's probably 10 years younger, maybe, but she's walking straight and tall and sassy, okay? And
Sassy.
they both come in, they sit in the waiting room, and I can hear them because I think his hearing is gone, so she's having to talk louder, and I can hear him saying, "Now what are we doing after this?" And she's like, "We're gonna go and do this, 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 and this." Like she has the whole day planned out. So, anyways, when I saw this on the prep service this morning, I was like, oh my gosh, that is perfect. Nate Bargatze actually talked about this, and I know how much Wally loves Nate.
great.
I didn't even bring this up.
Right? And so I thought I would play for you the joke that Nate Bargatze talked about with old couples and how women seem to handle it. Even as you get older, women are still handling everything while men kind of just go off the rails.
And wives are the ones that keep it together the longest in a relationship. If you see an old married couple, like they're 80, the wife is she's with it, and her husband's like, where are we at right now? Like our brains fall off a cliff, dude. Like the only reason he's out is because she's like, you better get out and let people see you a little bit. It's like some zookeeper walking some old gorilla around. Everybody's trying to feed him. Don't feed him that. So, well, I think he wants it. He definitely wants it. He's too dumb to know he can't have it.
That feels 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I know it's accurate for Wally and Marty because Marty has to go with Wally to his doctor's appointments.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's not paying attention.
I forget.
And she's actually older than you. Not by much, but...
Yeah, 7 months. She's older than me.
Nice.
I'm hoping I'm going to be in a little bit better shape when I get to that age. If I get to that age.
What is that age to you?
80, 70.
80.
Yeah.
I'd say 80 is when you can enter.
Here's what you've got going
85.
on for you that Marty does not.
Yeah.
You never stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the trick. What I've heard from a lot of people.
A lot of old people.
Don't stop. Because once you stop, you get stagnant, and then your bones just give out.
Yeah. I want to keep doing stuff and be active as long as I can. Because I see some of these people, and it's so sad. Like they just wheeling them around, and they like that. They hardly even know where they're at, or the wife becomes the caretaker for them, and that's really those are really sad to me. That and the memory loss stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think you'll turn out more like my grandpa on my mom's side. I think he's in his 81, 82 era, and he hasn't skied for a couple of years because of some shoulder issues that led to just losing strength. But again, not skiing at 80 is not something that anyone would look on him and be like, oh, how could you not
Slacker.
do that? Come on, Rich. But he manages 4 houses that he owns and rents out, still goes and does all the work on those houses to make sure that they're really good for his renters, still does a lot of work around the house. Like that dude does not, he reads the newspaper with his coffee in the morning, and that's about the calmest version of him that you get. Otherwise, he is an up and doer, which sometimes, for whatever reason, makes my grandma upset. Because she's like, come on, Rich.
Yeah.
Spend time together.
Oh,
he's like, I'm doing stuff.
I'm going to be in the garage.
I'm going to be working on this thing.
Wow, that does sound like you.
I know.
And I say, because I really respect him, but also, he's probably the only member of my family that I've ever been like, I wonder if my grandpa doesn't think I'm as impressive because of said stuff.
I think most
Military
grandpas,
guy.
like from that era, probably don't think that the grandkids are very impressive. You know, like because the younger generation
in
talks
Nam.
about, I mean, you talk about your
Come
feelings. It's like, I was in a rice paddy in Nam shooting people, and you're going to talk about you need a wellness walk.
Kind of.
You know, the walk we did was through the jungles trying not to get shot or stepped on landmines. How'd your walk go today around Franklin? You know?
Yeah, but I bet that he has terrible mental health.
No, he's probably great.
My grandpa's,
No,
my grandpa's
there's so many people that came back from the
No.
war that don't get what
Richard
they need
Dover is
mentally,
fine.
and then they end up in a bad situation.
But then there are others that come back better.
I think that he came
Calmer.
back solid. I also don't think he was actually fighting. I think he was over there, but he was doing like grunt work for something. So I don't want to.
yeah,
I
so if
wanna-
your grandpa
I wanna-
gives you a hard time, be
I
like, "How
wanna-
was that grunt work, grandpa?"
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
to credit his service in the military, but I
Gavin
don't
doesn't
believe
respect his grandpa.
I don't believe
you heard it here
weapons
first.
were involved. But he's
Gavin at wayfm.com.
he's please no. I think he's all. My mom will call me later and
Yeah.
tell me
Yeah.
if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah.
She'll text me.
Well, unfortunately, do you have birthdays?
I do.
Let's
Okay, go for
celebrate.
What were you gonna
We've
say?
got a birthday
Unfortunate?
coming up.
Unfortunately, we're wrapping up, and then we've got to go, do things, and we have support drive starting on Thursday. I was thinking today was the last day. It's tomorrow. Nuts.
Tricked yourself.
I did. So
Gotcha.
tomorrow will be our last podcast for a little bit while we're in support drive. And we do have a very special birthday coming up. One Miss Lady to the Rizak.
Single day, Betty.
Okay, Ian wants to wish Liam a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Liam! Said mom and dad want to wish Liam a happy 11th birthday. He loves monkeys, the color blue,
Nice.
building Legos, listening to music, and the Wally Show 24/7.
Nice.
Wow,
He
that's
is a
really
great friend and son. We love you, buddy.
I love that they went with rhyming names and they didn't go with something like really easy. They went with like Ian, like, oh no, now we got to come up with another one. What rhymes with Ian? Liam? Liam. Okay, is there a third? We cannot have any more kids. We can't rhyme this.
Yeah, Liam. Ian and Liam. Debbie wants to wish, Debbie Lopez, I'm Anna. And this is
That's
for my
confusing.
mom, Debbie.
Yeah, Debs.
Ah, that's the confusion. Okay. So Anna wants to wish her mom, Debbie,
Nice.
a happy birthday
happy
today.
birthday, Debbie!
Happy birthday. Let's get to a question. This question is from Corey. My wife wonders what happens behind the scenes. If a joke flops or someone says something awkward, do you tease each other or react non-verbally? Or is everything kept professional?
Oh, professional. That's cute.
hilarious.
That's funny. No, everyone is a target
Yes.
in this room. And so,
There have been definitely times where Wally has said something that Gavin and I will be confused about, and we'll look at each other,
yeah.
and then we'll be like,
Yeah.
and then when we turn off the microphones, then we can discuss it, and usually we're laughing at each other.
Yeah.
Or we
poke
mess
fun at each
up. Like the other day, Gavin, he asked you for stats on
Oh
the
my goodness.
people's
An absolute
challenge, and you were I think I
My-
cut it out so people won't know what we're talking about.
Thank you.
But
Oh my goodness.
if you heard it live, Gavin was like
So bad.
trying to do a math equation in his head, and then afterwards, Wally was like, and then Gavin apologized, but Wally was like, I asked, you had just said the number. That's the what number I was meaning. And he's like, oh, my bad, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of times where, like, Wally will forget the phone number. The other day, you did
Happens.
the pledge drive phone number
I know.
out
You do so-
randomly.
you do
Yeah.
so much
and I have to
talking,
take
though.
over, and I go, nope, that's
Yeah.
give to 919.
Yeah, because like if we're doing pre-support drive stuff, it already feels like support drive. So my brain clicks into that
Yeah.
other number as the default. You know.
My favorite, didn't realize that you said it moments still to this day. And again, I've only been here for 6 compared to how long you guys have been here. But I still loved the break that you ended or started with the phrase Radio Disney.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
On Radio Disney.
Because we've
Hit
been
the red
talking
button.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had been talking about it. If we're talking
was
about something,
awesome.
it just my head goes right there.
We
and
went back 20 years.
I know, it's crazy. The funny things are if we ever say something inadvertently on the air that it could be taken the wrong way.
Yes.
And you cannot react. Like you have to be, especially here, you have to be very quiet. You have to then pull the mics down, finish the break, and then it's a free for all. Then it's everybody making fun of each other.
It becomes an inside joke.
Yeah. So that definitely happens from time to time. But as far as also too, like we definitely make fun of each other off the air, probably even more so than on the air, which is part of the love language of the show.
Yeah.
And Wally, you can
earned.
probably speak on the joke flops. If someone makes a joke that flops, is it awkward?
Yeah, I mean,
Because you have more
I
experience
can't
with jokes flopping.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but yeah, it is weird. Like when you think something in your head is going to work and you throw it out there and you get nothing back, you're like,
Or
It's like
sometimes
falling off a cliff.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of like the 5-second game
Yeah.
where there's not that beeping in the background, but you know you don't need to speak for long.
Right.
Like 3 minutes and 30 seconds is as long as it should go. And if the bed has run out, it's like you're just trying to get to the end
Trying to
as
figure
fast
something
as possible.
out.
And then that's when the words just escape your head and you can't think of your own name.
yeah.
And luckily, we have 3 people on the show.
Sure.
And sometimes a phone call, a caller. So sometimes you have 4 options of human beings to find that out.
Right.
And even then, you still have moments when it's like,
Like
go.
I like when, because we don't do a lot of courtesy laughs. Like if somebody says something that bombs, it's pretty obvious and the guns get turned on you. But I like when like Betty will like genuinely laugh at something. Like that makes
so
my day. That
rewarding.
makes it funny. And I go, I know it's work because she's a tough audience. And so I know
Do you think
like
you're a
it's
tough audience?
working.
With him. Yeah.
And there are times though, like when because we play phone calls back, we record somebody while you're hearing music, and then we play them back. And so Gavin will be screening, and then he'll come in and he'll hear me editing, and so I'm editing, and like there will be times where I'm not sure about something. I'm like, should I leave this in, or is it funny? Is it not? And if I'm editing, I hear him laugh, and I leave it in. Because it made him laugh hearing it for the first time.
He just wants to keep his job.
Brown nosing 101.
You're doing great. You're killing it. So yeah, if something makes him laugh, then a lot of times that makes my decision to go, I'm going to leave that in.
Now, there have been plenty of times where Wally has played the wrong bed or forgotten what we were going into.
Absolutely.
Because he is like a squirrel that can't make up its mind on which side of the road he wants to go.
But that squirrel does have a lot of buttons.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And at the end, if he's messed up or edited a call and didn't get out an or an he just gives himself the hardest time.
Yeah.
You give yourself a lashing, and you'll be like, oh.
I hate it.
You bounce back quickly.
Yeah, no, now I didn't. I used to throw me off for an hour. Gavin beat himself up over the one the other day where I went to him for the number, and he was like, "God, stupid." It sounded like one of the guys from Love on the Spectrum, who I love.
Oh my word!
No, because he says, James. He's so great when his dad like calls him on stuff. He's like, maybe, I don't know. Or Connor gets really like dramatic. And so you kind of were channeling them.
Oh, yeah.
Which I love.
Because that one right there was I'm not even going to pretend like I was trying to like do math and I did it poorly.
Yeah, your
I had
brain
a
just locked.
solid 10 seconds where for some reason my soul left my body and I was like doing
What's my
I'm
name?
like, did I sleep last night?
I know.
Can't remember. Hey, Gavin, what about those numbers?
Yeah. I know. I get it though. I mean, like, I was like,
Embarrassing.
that's why I'm like, dude, it happens.
all
Our
been
brains.
there.
I was
Just can't let it happen. Very
I was
often.
telling my who was that? My wife and somebody else that we were with, probably my daughter and stuff, while we were at my niece's wedding, and I was telling them that when I'm reading things, because of like dyslexia and stuff, it's a struggle for me to read, or because of ADHD, whatever it is. But like, it's a struggle for me to read, and so when I'm reading, and if I've done pretty well, as I'm reading, my brain is like going, good job, buddy. Like you're doing really good. Like no one even notices that you really are just above a third grade reading level. And so I was doing the vows for the couple,
on stage.
my niece and her husband. So I'm reading. I've gotten through all the ceremony down to the end. Not too bad. Couple little flubs. Nothing horrific.
Did you read ahead of time? Like try and get it in your head a little bit?
Yeah. That was the problem because I had all the concepts in my head where I could have done it if I just had each bullet point concept. But there were certain things of ways I wanted to phrase things that I had written. So I would kind of go back to my notes and stuff. I had an iPad. But when I got to the vows, I'm like, oh wow. I'm so I get through her, she's fine, and then I get to his, and he has to repeat after me, and so I start talking, and I'm like, good job, buddy. Like, we're almost done. You got to the end of this. Nicely done.
This is in your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you haven't really messed up too much. Oh, well, now you're starting to wander here. You're starting to say things that really aren't sentences and aren't even on the page.
And that's on top of you talking.
And he's having to
reading.
repeat you saying things like backwards, like Yoda. All of a
Have
sudden.
you listened back to it?
No,
Did
I don't
they
want
do
to.
a video? Oh.
They didn't have a videographer, which is good.
I wonder how bad it was.
It wasn't horrible, but it was definitely a little stammery. And then, because there was a moment where he was like, what am I saying? Like, I'm repeating that.
Oh, it got that bad?
Oh, yeah, he had to repeat it. And he's like, and okay, because they had the vowels. They had picked their vowels that they were going to recite. So they knew them, you know.
I
and-
like that, though, because, I don't know, at the end of the day, I'm sure will have a moment of like, come on, man. But at the end of the day, they'll probably look back and be like, that was funny.
Yeah.
And there's like, humor in something that was quote unquote a flop type moment.
There were funny moments in the service too, because they had some mistakes. They were trying to do this Celtic hand fasting thing where you
I've seen
bind your
those.
hands with these ropes that signify
Confusing.
betrothal and stuff. And so they were trying to do it, and he was messing it all up and stuff. And so it was fun because it lightened the mood, and I got to make a joke and stuff. So ultimately it ended up going well. I had a bunch of people saying,
I will say,
great.
I do think mistakes, quote
In
unquote,
weddings.
mistakes, in weddings,
My mom,
or
yes.
like whenever
You
I
did
was,
so good.
whenever I did that
Good
concert
boy.
or that Tim Hawkins show a few weeks ago, and they're like, here's Mark from Audio Adrenaline. I'm like, that is such an easy way to get into a better headspace, is just to laugh, even if it's a.
Oh yeah, and people most times when you're in a crowd, with the exception sometimes of being around Betty, there people are pulling for you. You know.
Thank you.
I always know that Louise is never pulling for me. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
What? That's so hurtful. I'm always on your side.
All right, well that's gonna have to do it for Aftercast for today, but we will do this again tomorrow. Apparently,
we will.
Thanks for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.